Hi y'all, it's Kimberly here. I'm at the park again with one of my little dogs, Dumpling. I'm going to take her for a walk. We're going to pick her up first. She's a little scared. Gotta pick her up. Okay. Oh, I don't want to get you wrapped up in my mic again. She has a tendency to rip it out. Okay. Here we go. She's all happy now. Yes. Run, 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 run. Ooh, 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 ooh. There she is. Come on, let's go to the grass. Go to the grass? Let's go over to the grass. Uh-oh, I think she's going to pee-pee here. She's looking for a pee-pee spot. Oh, let's go over to the grass. Come over here. These are all rocks. Let's go this way. And come over to the grass. Are you sniffing around? Sniffing all the puppies? Okay. She's got to pee-pee real quick. Okay. You go pee-pee. Good girl. Good girl. Ooh, privacy. Okay. Let's go. I'm going to carry you over to the grass. Come over here. Okay, we're going to go walk over here on the grass. So cute. Here she is. I'm going to tell her story in a minute. I'm going to let her walk around for a few minutes and then I'll tell you the story of Dumpling. Please see. I gotta stay on the grass. You don't want to get run over. Yeah, I better stay away from that. That's nasty. That's sewer. Come on. Come on. Good girl. I think she needs to poop. Yeah, she's looking for a place to poop. Okay. Can you find a place right here? She has to sniff around, find the most perfect spot. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Give her some privacy. Whenever she gets through, we're going to go into the car, tell her story. Yep. Ooh. She's got a lot of business to do. Okay, there she's done. Okay, come here. Come on. Come on, sweetie. You ready? Let's go. I'm gonna pick you up. I'm gonna pick you up. Okay, let's go. Yeah, take you with me. Yeah. There she is. She is so cute. She's so sweet and tiny and cute. She's my little cutie pie. One of my little rescue dogs. Okay, I gotta open the door. I can do this without dropping y'all. We need to get a selfie stick. Okay, here we go. Okay. I rescued Dumpling about a year and a half ago. Or maybe between a year and a half. I can't really remember. But I'm going to turn on the car because it's kind of still warm out here. It's it's 88 degrees still in here, and it's 5, almost 5:30 here. But Dumpling was a rescue. I was self-rescued. She was a little bitty puppy, and there was a pack of chihuahuas on the block over from where I live. And they would run the streets, and they would chase everybody and try to attack everybody. And when I was riding my bike, they would do the same thing, like 5 or 6 of them, trying to jump up and attack me. And I wasn't really scared of them. I just kind of pedaled pretty fast and got out of there. But some people were really scared of them, you know. And I mean, when a little Chihuahua gets a hold of you, I mean, that little piece of skin, I mean, it kind of hurts. But she was so sweet and little, and she was just doing what the rest of them were. And she probably was maybe a pound. And I actually tried to catch her one time, and there were several of them running in the streets, little puppies, with the mother and a couple other dogs. And I couldn't catch her, and so I thought they belonged to somebody down the street, and I didn't know because they were always running loose. I never saw anybody with them, anybody taking care of them or anything. And then one day, I was riding my bike down that street, and I kind of rode down that street just to check on her. And I noticed one day she was chained up to a tree, and she was chained up on a chain that was maybe about 6 or 7 feet. And in Texas, you have to have at least a 10-foot chain if you're going to chain up a dog, which I don't really agree with, and I have another story. I'll tell that some other day. But really don't care for chaining up dogs. I mean, you should either build a fence, train your dog to live inside, or, you know, have some kind of, I don't know, just some other solution, a small pen or something even. But anyway, she was chained up, and she was just a little puppy. And then throughout the year, I watched her live on that chain, and it was very short, and it was chained up right next to this lady's porch. And she had another dog chained up. I think it was her mother. And she lived outside year-round, even through the wintertime, and sometimes it can get very cold here. I think it got down to like 13 or 15 degrees or something that winter, and I was so worried about her. I went outside and I rode my bike there late at night, and I swear every part of my body wanted to just go over there and just take her off that chain and take her. But technically that's theft. You know, dogs are considered property, and I'm not a thief. I don't go around stealing stuff, and it broke my heart just to leave her there, you know. And so one day the lady was out there, and I told her, you know, if you ever don't want this little dog, I will take her. I will take care of her. And she's like, oh, no, I can't do that. And she explained to me, you know, she keeps the dogs for not really protection, but like an alarm, you know. She's so little, she can't really do anything, but she barks at everything that comes up there. I was like, okay. And she's saying that she didn't have a name, and that she doesn't hold her or cuddle her because she doesn't believe in doing that with the dogs, because then they start to get spoiled, and they'll get used to other people, and then other people will be able to come and take them, which I was like, that's not necessarily true. They will still be loyal to you even if you do name them and pet them and hold them. But, you know, I didn't argue with her. I was like, I just tried to be nice to the lady and tried to be, you know, I'd come by and I'd check on her, and she'd be working in the yard, and I'd say, you know, can I bring her a treat or something, you know. And I gave her some treats one time, and she ended up being pregnant, and I told that lady, it was the middle of wintertime, and she didn't have a doghouse still, and I told her, can I bring her a doghouse, or can I bring her something to put, you know, I have like an old tub, I can turn it over and she can sleep in that, and I'll put a blanket in it, you know. It's too cold, she's going to freeze, or the puppy, if she has that puppy outside, that puppy's going to freeze, because it was going to be down in the teens that night. And she goes, oh no, I'm going to bring her in. And the next morning, when I was going to work, I saw that she was still out there. It was very early in the morning, and then she was chained up, and I was like, I knew she hadn't taken her in. And so I think it was the day after or somewhere, I tried to keep walking by the house or ride my bike by the house, and just to keep contact with that lady. And I had to be as nice as I could just so that I could keep contact with her, not to make her mad or make her think I'm trying to invade her privacy. I told her, you know, I live on the house on the corner, very next street. If you ever don't want her, just let me know. Leave a note or knock on the door or anything, and I'll come and get her if you ever have any problems. And she told me that she'd been pregnant twice, and she wasn't a good mother. She lost her babies, or she killed them, or she did something. But
I know, I mean, she probably had the babies, and then the other dogs probably took the puppies, because the puppies were nowhere to be found, or one or two. She's very little, and all the other dogs were bigger than her. She only weighs probably 5 or 6 pounds, I think, maybe. She's very small, a half Chiweenie, half weenie dog. I mean, a half Chihuahua, half weenie dog, Chiweenie. And one day I was riding my bike by, and she called me over, wait, come back. And I did, and she goes, do you still want her? And I was like, yes, I do. And she goes, okay, you can have her. And so I was on my bike, and I was like, I have to go, let me go put my bike. And I raced home, I put my bike up, and then I ran all the way over to her house. And when I picked her up, she stunk so bad. I couldn't even hold her close to me. I mean, the smell almost knocked me out. And I had to carry her with my arms stretched out because she stunk that bad. And then when I got her home, she had a collar that was around her neck so tight, and the lady had tightened it up with zip ties. And I cut that off, and I had tiny little scissors, and I could barely get it in between her neck and that. I mean, it was really just tightening the skin on her neck. And she was real skinny, except the lady had gorge fed her. Like, some people only feed their dog like once every 2 days or something. And I think she just was throwing food out there because she had no meat on her bones. I mean, you couldn't see her hips, but the skin between her ribs and her skin, there was no fat underneath there. You know, she wasn't skin and bones. You couldn't really see the points on her, but you could kind of feel it, you know. And she has a broken rib that's kind of, it looks so uncomfortable, kind of. It's just like a little point, like about a half an inch or maybe a third of an inch, poking out where she had gotten a broken rib, and it healed, you know, kind of poking out, if you can imagine. So she can't really lay on that side, and she just stunk so bad. She had ticks on her, and thank goodness she didn't have fleas. I can deal with ticks, but fleas I cannot stand. I've never really had a problem except for this last year with fleas with my dog. They got in contact with the dog, or some cats that had fleas. And fleas to me are the worst. Ticks, you know, they're horrible. They freak me out too. But in Texas there's ticks everywhere. You have to just deal with it. But thank goodness she didn't have fleas. But she was so hungry, and I fed her, and well, that lady had already fed her, gorge fed her, but I fed her like a little bit, and then, or no, maybe I did not feed her, because her belly was poking out from, I think that lady had just thrown some food down in between me running back home and to go get her. And I think I waited a few hours, and she pooped out a whole bunch. And then I fed her a little bit, and she just gobbled it down like she hadn't eaten for weeks. And she was just the sweetest, cutest. She has the cutest personality. She's so sweet. And I just cleaned her up. Had to give her 3 baths for 3 days in a row to get the stink off of her. And she's just adorable and so sweet, and she's just so cute. Yes, Dumpling, say hello. Yes, you're gonna kiss Mommy. Oh, you're so sweet. Oh, I love you. Yes, I love you. Yes. And to think this little dog was chained to a tree for about a year, impregnated by 2 dogs. Her babies, who knows what happened. The other dogs, I'm sure, took the babies and ate them, but she's fine now. She has a great home. She's rescued, and she'll never be chained up like that again, and she's safe. Yes, Dumpling. She's my little Dumpling. Okay, I've got to turn on the air conditioner. It's probably going to make a lot of noise, so I hope that y'all, if you see animals in distress or something, try to help them if you can. I mean, I know it's hard sometimes, and I see animals, and God, it breaks my heart that I can't do it, you know. But when I retire, that's one of the things I want to devote myself is to rescuing more dogs and horses too. I really love horses, and oh, Dumpling, so sweet. She's just one of the dogs that I've rescued. And Lola's on my channel too. I had to, still very emotional about her. She's over the Rainbow Bridge, but I rescued her too, and Dumpling's here, so good girl. She's so sweet. Well, thank you so much, all my subscribers. Ooh, Lola, I still think about her. Thank you. Like, comment, subscribe, please, if you want. Thank you. Thank you so much.